My name is David Heppner, and this is the Huntlore podcast, where we will spark our imaginations and pay tribute to the time-honored tradition of hunting by sharing our stories of the hunt. Huntlore is brought to you by Black Bear Wear, bear hunting apparel for bear hunters and everyone else. Get it, wear it, share it. Before we get into the episode here, I just want to let everyone know that these hunting stories take place in Manitoba, Canada. Thanks for listening. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the stories. So welcome to Huntlore. My name is David Heppner. I'm here with a very special guest for my first episode. He's been hunting for 3 seasons. Coming up is season number 4. He's been able to shoot a Booner Crockett bear, 2 Pope and Young bears, 5 deer, 4x4 buck, a spike bull elk, and hopefully another bear this fall, and maybe a deer or 2 again. Without further ado, welcome Noah Heppner, my son.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming here, or sitting at the kitchen table with me and doing this. So I wanted to talk to you. I thought it was fitting that you were my first guest on the Huntlore podcast, because I've been taking you out since how old?
Well, my first memory is going deer hunting with you, and I remember getting pushed around in a game cart because I was too tired to walk. And
hey, so this is our hunting year for 2011, right? We made a little ground blind, right? We're just sitting out here. No one's waiting for a deer, right?
yeah, I remember that was pretty fun.
How old were you?
I think around I can't remember my age, but I'm probably around.
Well, it was 3 years old.
3 years old, yeah.
How old are you now?
15.
15. So you've been hunting since when?
Since I was 12.
Since you were 12. Yeah. That was pretty good memories there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk to you because, you know what, I've been taking you out since you've been 3. Yeah, that first time that I took you out, I can tell you exactly. I remember it very clearly. I got the idea from using a game cart from Ryan Derlego. That's what he did with his kids. So I put you on the game cart, but with a car seat. And I just pushed you out there because I knew walking to the bush, you wouldn't be able to necessarily do it. You'd get tired out. So I pushed you out there. We went out to this little wood lot, again, Derlego's old spot there. And we crept into this like little bedding area. Sure you don't really remember that too much. As we got in there, right away as we're just hunting on the ground, and there was a fawn. It had spots and all that. And you wanted to leave right away. And I'm like, Noah, no, let's just stick it out, because I was hoping a doe would come by. And while you wanted to leave, you couldn't even really see the deer. So I was like, all right, well, we can leave. And as we were leaving, because we'd only been there 5-10 minutes and you wanted to leave. So I'm like, all right, we'll leave. But I knew we weren't leaving. But, yeah. But you didn't know that. You thought you were leaving. Yeah. So then we got out onto the ATV trail, and I just said, hey, let's just go for a walk a little bit, you know. You're like, okay. And we started walking, and I believe this is the time that had a doe coming down a cut line or a fence line area. I think it was that time. And now I can't remember if it was that time, because it did take you out a couple times after. But anyways, we'll say it was that time. And a doe was coming down the cut line, and I got you to blow on the grunt tube. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that we were at a cut line, but I remember that blowing on the grunt tube. And yeah, I remember having fun doing that. And then
yeah. And I got you to do that. And I knew from previous experience that young deer can be very curious. So if you blow like improperly, like almost make it like a duck call, these deer will come in. And I had you do that. I couldn't believe it. Do you remember that?
I remember blowing on it like quite hard too, and then I remember you just being like, "No, I know it's too not so hard." Not
Oh,
so
okay.
hard.
Yeah, but I didn't actually really care. But you don't remember the deer coming in?
No, I remember.
Yeah.
No.
I almost shot a deer. So then, yeah, that didn't happen. Then we kept walking, and you said you got tired. You wanted to go back, and I was like, well, I'll just get on my shoulders. And you went on my shoulders, and we walked back, and that was it. That was your first introduction to hunting. But not necessarily before that. Do you kind of remember a time where you kind of knew what hunting was, or was it always there, part of your life?
I just always remember it always kind of being a thing, and it never seemed kind of new to me. It always just seemed like something we did, and yeah, it's a fun thing we did together. And
Yeah.
Something you enjoyed, and then I came to enjoy as well.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Some people out there have issues getting their kids into hunting. And for me, I made a very conscious effort that wasn't going to happen, that you were going to be a hunter. Seriously, I laid the foundation. I didn't want to pressure you. I was always going to have snacks, and we're going to leave whenever you wanted to leave. Although within reason, right? After 5 minutes, like that story, then it's like, okay, let's go walk around. Let's go try this. Let's go over there. So I'd kind of keep dangling the carrot just a little bit beyond where you'd have to keep reaching, right?
Yeah.
And then once you were at your max, then it's like, okay, let's go. Like I wanted to keep it fun. If you were too cold, that's another thing with the bow hunting as well. We can do it in warmer weather. So I wanted to take you out when it was warm. It was comfortable. And also, I didn't really care if you made noise. Do you remember that I wasn't harping on you too much?
No, I don't remember once you telling me I was too loud. So.
Yeah. So that's another thing I think is very important is if people want to get their kids into hunting, one of the best ways is in the archery season, and going to a property where you don't really care if you screw it up. Like just go where there's a few deer. The kids are going to see deer. You're going to have fun. And keep it really lighthearted and no pressure. But is that kind of how you remembered it? Because that's how I remembered it.
Yeah, that's how I remember it too. And I also really liked it. I remember when I just have this memory of me walking one time, and it was probably when I went on your shoulders, because I remember being super tired and just not feeling like I couldn't walk anymore.
Yeah.
Then you put me on your shoulders, and I was like, wow, you're pretty strong to be able to carrying me all this way. I can't even walk, and now you're carrying me.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. At least you thought I was strong at one time. A bit different story on your elk hunt this year. I guess we'll get into that. So that's good. So one, you didn't feel pressured?
No.
Do you remember the story when I shot that button buck with you?
Yeah, I do.
How old were you, do you think?
See, I can't remember how old I really was in these stories. I'm guessing how old was I?
I'd say 5.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
I was going to say 5 or 6, yeah.
Do you remember the events leading up to it?
Well, I remember... No, I don't. I remember being in the ground blind, you shooting and seeing it run away, and then walking up to it and you gutting it and just seeing all the guts. And I'd never seen until then, I guess I hadn't remembered seeing like a deer being gutted or like being right there with it. So I remember you cutting it up and seeing all the guts and just wondering where the meat was. Just like cut it open. I'm like, where's the meat now?
You thought the meat was inside the body.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. So in that scenario, it was the same property that like we went on that first deer hunt, and that property, you actually shot your first deer on that same property in that same neck of the woods. So like back in the day there, I would put ground blinds and tree stands, and people would steal my tree stands. They would destroy the ground blind. They like ripped it, broke poles. So I'm like, okay, I can't do that. I can't leave stands here. I can't leave blinds. So what can I do? Well, I did the, I guess another Derlego's getting name dropped quite a bit, but he's been a big influence in my life hunting wise for sure. But it was just basically made out of sticks. I'd go there, make it, even went the day before, made it, made sure that everything was good, the deer were following, coming out of the main bush, heading south, and basically going to a really nice, I think it was an alfalfa field there at the time. And we just tucked in right into the edge of the bush, and I was hoping like a doe, or actually not a little buck, because I didn't want to use my buck tag back then. So yeah, then we were tucked in there waiting for a 20-yard shot, although they don't necessarily hug the bush that tight always there. But yeah, so that's what happened there. And I actually missed a doe. Do you remember that?
I don't remember. I kind of once, like, I don't remember too much you missing, but I remember kind of being sad about something a little bit when you
I'll tell you
me.
what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, but I can't really.
Well, I
remember.
had a doe, and I didn't have had a doe at, like, I ranged it, and I didn't actually have a range finder. I guessed it at probably 40 yards, which was probably kind of stupid to be taking a shot. But hey, back before range finders, and that's how a lot of people did it. They just estimated yardage. We'd walk it out, maybe put a stick somewhere at 20 yards, right? That's anything within that stick is 20 yards and less. And then you would just try and judge it from there. So we had those simple little tactics or techniques that we would use or I did anyways, to guess yardage. I'd even take tape measures and that from my tree stands and measure it out and use flagging tape. So if a deer walked by, that's 23 yards from the tree stand or whatever. But I probably had a tuft of grass or something there because it was a cultivated field. So maybe a wheat clump or whatever. But anyways, this doe comes by and I miss. And you started crying and making some noise. And it's at this point I was kind of, you were 5, so that this would have been your 3rd season following me around. And I started to lean on you a little bit to be a bit more quiet and kind of persevere through that and develop your patience a little bit. Anyways, the doe comes in, I miss, you start crying, making the noise. And I just knew that, well, there could be like one of her fawns, and this was late September, I guess, and big enough for me to shoot. And I wanted you to really experience that at an early age, just to kind of get you hooked. Like I said, I was being very intentional with getting you hooked on hunting because I love it so much. So I wanted you to love it as well. And anyways, you were crying, and it was kind of funny because I had to calm you down, and you were just like, well, what are we going to do for meat for the winter? Yeah, it was pretty funny. So anyways, you calmed down. I told you to calm down, and this button buck comes right into, 15 yards, kind of head on. And I just knew that I could blow right through it because their bones are soft at that age. And yeah, pretty easy to kill actually. So I just, decimated that thing. It ran, 10 yards, fell over, dropped. And then we went there and got pictures and all that. And you got to see where the meat came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the first animal you saw me shoot. And then, obviously growing up in my household as my son, that I like to bear hunt.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first bear hunting experience where you tagged along?
That would be when I was 7 and we went with Grandpa.
Yeah.
And you got a bear then. I remember we were using apples that day to bait up, and
that's right. And that's the first video I made. That I bought a DSLR. That was the first video, hunting video that I made using the DSLR. You're right. We were using apples, and I actually have you on video there. I didn't get the kill on video because I didn't realize back then you needed big memory cards. And when that bear came in, I got the bear coming in, and then the memory card said full, and I couldn't decide if I should quickly delete some footage. In hindsight, maybe I could have, but anyways, he came into 8 yards and I drilled him and he ran ran off about 50, 60 yards, died. No death moan or anything like that. But what did you think about your first bear hunting experience? Do you remember? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, it's really interesting me going up in, I guess it was kind of my first time going up into a tree stand.
Yeah.
So
we had a double
ladder stand. And
you were small enough.
Yeah.
So we could
were
all
able to
fit up there.
You, me, and Grandpa.
Yeah.
And then I remember going in there and I was a bit scared actually of it was my first time bear hunting, right? And
it was I
fun.
caught that on video, the look.
Yeah.
There was a little snap
of a branch and I turned around to see what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So probably just a squirrel or something.
Yeah. We had to jump across that ditch to get into the bait site. Do you remember that?
I remember that. I thought I was gonna sink into it maybe. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to be patient there, but
yeah.
maybe lost my patience just a bit. But Grandpa was good. Good thing Grandpa was there. So then, I shoot that bear. He runs off, and I knew it was a good shot. The blood sprayed out like 3 feet. Would have been a great video. Would have been awesome. And we get down, we go find the bear, take some pictures, and as we're skinning it, you can hear the bears batting the barrel around. Do you remember that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You were a bit nervous there.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't remember it, but
we reassured you there. But that was cool. But it was all good. I don't remember if you were with me with any other kills before you started hunting. You helped track a little buck or another button buck that I ended up shooting on the same property we've shot quite a few deer on. But then when you were probably 8 years old, I took you on another hunt for an evening and a morning, and then Nana picked you up.
Oh yeah, on the moose hunt. Yeah, that was fun.
What do you remember about that?
I remember sitting a lot, and then I remember seeing a cow and a calf.
Yeah, that was in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning.
Do you remember anything about camping out there?
I remember the one day we went to a campsite and set up our tent and everything. It was cold that night, and we woke up in the morning and we were just absolutely freezing, getting ready to go. And
yeah, it was really cold.
It was really, really
I was
cold.
kind of underprepared for that, actually. I felt pretty bad. But you know what? I knew you were going to be a hunter, camper, outdoorsman, because you were laughing.
Yeah.
The whole time. I was like, okay, this kid's got something.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like, he's got it. Like, if you can handle that at 8 years old, then you'll easily be able to handle anything else as you get older. So, I ended up getting a moose. You know what the funny thing is? When we were, after that morning hunt, we were driving around, and we saw some moose out in that alfalfa field.
Yeah.
And you said, why don't you go get permission over there? There was like a bull and a cow and a calf, I think. And I had quite a bit of permission, because this was out in the prairie farmland of Manitoba, just for the listeners there. And so out in that area, there's not a lot of crown land, almost next to nothing. I'd say nothing. So it's just basically, it is all private land. So you need to go knock on doors. A lot of people say no. Some people say yes. I got lucky and I was able to get a lot of permission out there. And so when Noah suggested this, he's talking to me. We're in the minivan, and he said, minivan or Toyota Corolla? Doesn't matter. I think it was the Corolla. Anyways, and when you mentioned that, I was just like, I didn't want to get more permission. I just said, you know what? We don't need permission everywhere, Noah.
Yeah.
I ended up getting permission for that place, and that's where I shot my bull. So you were right.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. I should have got permission there, and I did, and I got my bull. So you had some insight even at a young age, I guess. So that's pretty cool. So now we fast forward. We're going kind of through your hunting career here. You're 10 years old. Do you remember what happened at 10? You're wondering, but I'll tell you. You bought your first bow.
Oh yeah, that's the year that
So
happened.
What's the story there? How did you get it? How did you get the money for the bow?
Uh 10. I guess that was the year that I started doing my flyer out, right?
Yeah.
That was yeah. So that's how I got some of the money, and then you also helped pay for it. Most of it.
Yeah, most of it, but
Yeah.
I got you to pay
Yeah.
some of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember walking through Cabela's with you, and you were looking at the bows, and then you showed me this one, and we went just to shoot it there. And I remember shooting it, and I'd never shot a bow before and felt so cool shooting it. And
Oh yeah.
yeah. And then
That's awesome.
after that I was like, well, there's no way I can't not buy it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I talked you into it. It was pretty easy, eh?
Yeah. Well, I really wanted it too. So,
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's good. You didn't feel pressured at all.
Not at all. No, I would have wanted it even if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I shot it, I'm like, yeah, I want to buy it.
So you're all in.
Yeah.
And you've never shot a gun.
No, never shot a gun.
So yeah. Yeah, that's what we mainly do is bow hunt. And you like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do.
So you never felt pressured with getting into hunting.
No, not that I can remember at all. So that's.
So you liked the approach that I took then.
Yeah,
I introduced
yeah.
you to it.
And I obviously liked all the adventure involved with it and
Yeah.
going out in nature. So yeah, I really like that.
You know, another thing that just comes to mind is watching all those hunting videos together. We watched a lot of hunting videos.
Yeah.
So even with bear hunting, you were able to hear the death moan. So if it did happen when you were there hunting, I don't think you've heard it in the wild yet, have you?
No, I actually haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. So some people, they do, when they go bear hunting for the first time, they don't necessarily know the death moan. And so when it happens, it kind of turns them off, or it can. So anyways, I exposed you to that. I exposed you to animals getting shot multiple times. You know, I started making my own hunting videos. So then you saw that as well. And obviously being there in person, seeing me shoot a couple animals, it probably helped as well. So yeah, so you bought that bow, or we did together at 10 years old. The minimum legal age in Manitoba to start hunting is 12.
Yeah.
So you're gearing up for that. You're practicing. And I knew right away as you're left eye dominant. You're right-handed.
Right hand. Yeah. Left eye dominant.
Yeah. And when you're shooting those little bear longbows or whatever, and I was getting you to shoot right, you just were moving your head right over, so lining up your left eye. So then I knew from there, you know what, I'm just going to get you shooting left-handed. And I don't think it was really that awkward to get you shooting left.
No, I remember the first time you told me, I was kind of confused about how that would be better, but it took like the next 2 days I shot that way, and then I can't remember it really from then on.
Yeah.
Being uncomfortable. Now, if I ever would try to shoot right, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I've seen you try
Yeah.
to shoot right. So now we fast forward from 10 to 12. You're practicing. You've probably come out with me on a couple other hunts. I don't think any other. No, we did go bear hunting.
Yeah, we hunted at Glenn's house and you
Yeah.
shot that sow.
Yeah. Yeah, that dry sow.
Yeah.
It was in fall time. Lots of bears in the area. Not a big trophy area out there, although there's big bears all in Manitoba. But yeah, I shot that one with you there. I took you out bear hunting on overnight trips. We did overnight trips together,
Yeah.
and Jason as well. And you were able to see a lot of bears. You were exposed to that quite a bit. You know, we've had some gnarly situations with bears following us out of the bait site.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now at 12 years old, when you do your hunter safety, you did it online, you went and wrote the test, did the practical,
Yeah.
you passed. Your birthday is in February, so you turn 12, you're able to go hunting in spring. So talk about that, the lead up. How were you feeling like once you passed your hunter safety and you knew that you were going to go shoot a bear, and you knew it was a guarantee?
Yeah.
Because you know if you do bear hunting right and you're just going to shoot a bear, It's almost a guarantee if you're going to wait for like just a average size boar.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty exciting. Obviously, I remember I'd always been in the stand without the bow, and now I was going to be in the stand with the bow, and I was going to have to judge, obviously, with you helping me, when to draw back and all that by myself. And I remember I was a little bit nervous at times, but like I would say maybe like a good nervous, like excited and just anticipating everything, right?
Yeah, it's good to be a bit nervous.
Yeah.
Excited.
Yeah.
Right?
So I remember that was really exciting for me. And yeah, it was just a lot different than just following you around, and now it was my turn to make some decisions.
The biggest thing for me that was the most challenging was just obviously teaching you when to draw back, because bears move around so much at the bait site.
Yeah, they're not like deer where they just walk in a straight line. You can wait for them to walk in front of a tree and you can draw. They're turning and twisting around barrels, and they're a lot harder to predict that way.
Yeah, because,
in my opinion.
Yeah, because they'll lie down quickly, they'll twist and turn, right? Kind of like a U. So then that's not necessarily a good shot. So yeah, just we went over a lot of video, and you would stand there and I would get you to draw. Okay, when are you going to draw back? And you'd motion like you're drawing back.
Yeah.
And it seemed all good. And so that was the biggest thing for me, as well as like just knowing how to aim on the animal. I can point as much as I can beforehand where to aim and get you to point, and it's all good, but just when it looks different through a peep sight and there's a live animal, a live target, it's all different. I think if I were to do it over again, I would have a 3D target for you to shoot at. But didn't we have that 2D? Like that wild
we had
boar?
it was like a boar on a plastic. It was not paper, but it was like,
it's a plastic, a 2D, just print out.
Yeah, we put it onto the target and we shot at that. So that helped me a little bit there.
Yeah.
So
then we're going to the hunt. We're driving. It's a decent amount of time from our place. I'm not going to say how far, but it's in the hours to get there. So we have a lot of downtime. We brought everything for the overnight because we're staying overnight. I forget if we were going to hunt 1 or 2 days. But we get there as we're driving. I remember asking, are you nervous? Excited? And I could see you're quiet.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of anticipation building up in me and excitement. So yeah.
So kind of tell the story from what you can remember there with your first bear hunt.
Well, I remember, obviously once we got there, I remember sitting in the truck and just full of excitement. You brought out the video camera to do a little, I guess, just me talking.
The expectation is you were going to shoot like probably a 6-foot bear.
Yeah.
It didn't really, we weren't going to necessarily wait for a 7-footer or a 6.5, but like just an average bear, 6-foot bear. You get your first bear, make a nice, good shot, right? All these things really make it a positive experience, right? So that's why I got you to walk up or try and walk up to the bear. It ended up being real small, actually. So, okay. There you go. You can take it from there.
Then, we got set up in the stand, did a couple practice draws, got the camera all set up, and we were all ready to go there and all quiet. And then wasn't too long, and a smaller bear came into the bait, which was cool to see.
Probably the same one that you walked up to. It's tiny. It was like a 4-footer.
Yeah, it was small. I wasn't gonna shoot it.
No.
And
I remember teasing you about shooting it though.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, I was teasing you. I think you should shoot it. You don't want to shoot that. Yeah, but anyways.
Yeah, and then you had also laid out some corn, so then if a bear came in, it would eat.
Yeah, that's always like
a
pile or whatever. But
anyways, I remember not too long. Can't forget how long. I just remember it being.
I think it was like half an hour.
Yeah, not too much longer. Another bear came in that was bigger, and then it's like, I'm gonna gonna shoot this one. It was right at the start of the like hunt, and I was so excited. It felt like no time had passed.
But I talked too much. I was like, are you sure you want to shoot it? You don't have to. I didn't want you to be too like nervous for the shot, you know, because I was actually really nervous. Like,
yeah,
my heart was pounding. Like, it's like, because I can't at this point, all control is gone.
yeah,
Before that, I could control every situation with you because you weren't shooting. This is something I couldn't control. The shot, you aiming, when to take the shot. Like, what if the bear moves when you shoot? Like, all these things are going through my head. And I had to trust that we did enough for you to be successful in that moment. So I think, in a way, like, yeah, I wasn't I communicated too much. It was a good bear. Like, I was like, oh, that's a 6 footer, 6.5. I thought 6, right? 6, maybe 6.5. And maybe Pope and Young bear because I saw his head there when he came in. Do you remember that you didn't necessarily want to shoot it? You were going to
no,
wait for
I
something
remember.
bigger?
I remember since right when it came in that I was going to shoot it. I don't remember any hesitation at all.
Yeah, you sat down and put your bow up, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh.
But I kind of stupid me, whatever. I was just, no, you don't have to shoot it. We can wait for something bigger. All these things, and so I put all these thoughts in your head, which I regret doing. But hey, like I said, I was nervous, but and excited. So, anyways,
yeah, and then it came in and started eating from that pile of corn, and I didn't get a shot right away. It moved around a bit. I can't remember fully like how it moved around the bait site, but I remember eventually I got the broadside shot, and yeah, he told me when to draw, helped me with that, and yeah, I was pretty excited. I guess just instinctively, I settled the pin where I wanted to from what we had all gone over, and then yeah, slowly squeeze the trigger and let the arrow fly.
So you don't remember slamming the trigger, like punching it?
No.
Do you remember like?
I remember
methodically?
When all
You're
the
pretty
shooting
methodical.
we went over.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, just
your heart was pounding though.
Oh yeah, quite a bit. Yeah.
Did it feel like it was coming out of your chest? In your ears was the blood pumping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Whenever you want to take the shot. You gut shot him. You gut shot him. Just wait. You might go down there. He's dying. I think he's dying. I think.
Yeah, and then I remember after I shot it, seeing it run off, and we weren't too sure about the shot right away, just because it looked a bit farther back.
Yeah, it was a bit back.
Yeah, but
maybe a touch low, but
it ended up, we think, getting liver. So,
yeah.
I remember shooting it and just the feeling after that, the first thing I ever shot, and seeing it run away, that was...
Yeah, I thought you gut shot it at first, so I said that to open my fat mouth again. Oh, you gut shot it, and just like yeah. But anyways, I'm glad you have a lot of grace with me. I'm learning as I go.
Yeah. I remember you saying that, and then me being a bit sad, like I messed up. But that didn't last too long, and then I remember you telling me, and we heard it, I guess, thrashing around a little bit. I'm
pretty sure. Yeah,
and then you're like, oh, it's dying over there, and then.
And the thing is, every single bear that came in after that, they all went to that spot where we found your bear. And that was another thing. I was like, I think it's down right there, but I didn't want to push it, like, obviously, because if you let bears lie down and you don't push them, you'll find them the next morning.
Yeah, but you don't want it to
I didn't want to push it
too far.
Yeah, you got a full pass through as well on that bear.
Yeah,
but then later in the evening, so we switched stands. It was my turn to hunt, and a bear that I ended up shooting a week later came in. It was a 7-footer. 19-inch bear, or 19 and a quarter. So yeah, you could have shot a 7-footer your first night, but whatever. That I think was meant to be, So we went back to camp, and then the next morning we get there, and was the blood trail good?
Yeah, I remember.
It had rained the night before.
Yeah, it also had rain too. So yeah, I don't remember seeing like this is a ton of blood, but I remember once you found it and then you told me, and I remember going up to you and you're like, oh look, no, it's wet. It's been dead for a while, and I was like,
It's right there! There's your bear, buddy. There's your bear. That a boy, Noah. There's your bear. That's a nice one. It ain't small, Noah. Isn't small. Look at that. It's been dead for a while. Congratulations, bud.
Thanks.
So, what do you think? What did you learn?
Well,
That bears stink?
yeah. And shot placement isn't easy.
Yeah, so now you have experience, right?
Yeah.
pretty happy that
Yeah.
I'd realized it. Yeah,
It didn't
died.
suffer.
Yeah,
And it probably died when,
when you had said so.
yeah.
Yeah, I really was happy when you told me that and I had seen that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And it was a big bear too.
yeah. It squared. Was it 6? I remember you saying 6.5 feet.
6'9".
6'9". Yeah.
6'9", and I think it was 19 inches or 19 and an eighth.
Yeah.
So,
It was. Yeah.
it was a 19 incher for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So like a really nice bear, like, especially for a guy's first. Lucky guy shooting a Pope
Yeah.
young bear.
No kidding. I'm really spoiled that way.
Well,
So,
hey,
and yeah, lucky and happy to have that.
yeah, that's right. So I guess we got to move right along to your first deer hunt now. Same year. So you shot the bear. We're going to go out to where I first took you deer hunting, that same property, that same little bluff. But this time we're hunting in tree stands. Just hold on, something's. There we go. So we are now hunting this little bluff. We're in a couple tree stands. I think I put the stands up when we got in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a bit frustrating because the tree was a bit crooked and whatever. But go through that whole scenario.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, you got there, and I think we didn't have the 2 lone wolf stands at the time, which were lighter and easier to set up. So we had that one. It was a bit heavier.
Oh,
so,
that's right.
Yeah, that's
That
why.
hawk.
Yeah, it took a while to
Oh,
do one.
it's garbage.
Yeah.
At least we
pretty
have
heavy.
2 lone wolves now.
Yeah.
One each. With
Yeah.
sticks
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
A good setup for both. So sticks for you and sticks for me, and a lone wolf for you and a lone wolf for me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, and then we got all set up. We didn't really see. We were right by a field. I forget what was planted in the field or what they were feeding on.
I don't
Yeah.
remember. It was a green field,
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Yeah,
That's the same place where we don't have permission,
yeah,
but we can hunt our side of the fence, and which we do.
yeah,
There's a trail that the deer come from, like our side of the bush, and then they go into that field, and a lot of the other deer too stay on that private piece we don't have permission for. But we get like 1 or 2 deer that come through our
Yeah.
spot, and we capitalize.
mm-hmm.
And it's a good spot, and that we can take a couple deer every year at if we want to. But yeah, so we get up in the stand.
Yeah, and then the beginning of that sit was a bit slower, but it was late afternoon to I guess beginning of the evening that a couple deer came into that field, and I forget if you called them with the cam call.
Or the can call.
Or can call that it didn't look like they reacted to it right away at the start, but then later into the evening
I had that maybe, but I also had a grunt,
or
like a
grunt
tube.
Yeah, I think
Had a grunt
you had
tube.
both that you tried. And then it didn't seem like they really cared about it at all, but later into the evening,
Like I blew on that grunt tube hard.
Yeah.
There was a doe out there.
Mhm.
I know there was the doe that you ended up shooting. She was out there. She'd look in
Yeah.
our direction,
yeah,
look a couple times, and then she went back to eating.
kept feeding. Yeah,
Probably for like 10 minutes, I'm guessing, after I quit calling. I was like, yeah, she's not coming in.
Yeah, I remember you stopped calling. I forget how long after that it was. I just remember for me, I remember thinking that it didn't care and wasn't going to come in.
It looked exactly nonchalant, like it was,
Mhm.
was not interested, wasn't coming.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I had that run through my mind, and then a little later into the evening, it started working its way towards us. Obviously, it had heard you and was a bit curious. So
Well, I remember when it picked its head up
yeah,
and it started marching. Like it was just on a mission and it was looking exactly where we were.
yeah,
She's coming to investigate the grunting.
And it came down. It would have to walk towards our bush line, hit the fence line,
Mhm.
and then turn, I guess, east, that is, and walk right down our bush line, or that fence line. And then there was a main trail that we were in on.
yeah. I remember once it started coming towards us, you're like, no, it's gonna come right down this trail, and you're gonna get a shot right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, how do you know?
Really?
How do you know? It's could go anywhere. Anyways, so
Yeah,
obviously
that's
you had
experience,
some
man.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you knew that, and as it came down that the same way you said it was going to come, and down that trail,
And what was
Stop.
going through your mind?
I was pretty excited. Obviously, going from not thinking it was going to come in to
Yeah.
coming in, then it came down that trail and stopped, and I went to draw my bow back, and I couldn't draw it back. I remember trying as hard as I could,
Oh,
and it
I
just
know.
couldn't draw it, and it was looking at us.
Slow. Now draw back. Draw back. Draw back. You gotta get it drawn back. Yeah, you're due. Pull it back. Don't worry.
Thought I was gonna spook and run away,
Yeah.
and I couldn't. And I just stopped. Took, I guess, half a second to breathe, and I was able to get my bow back then.
Draw back. Let her have it. Go hit it high. You hit above her lungs. Yeah, you didn't get it. Just wait. You got her. You got it. Sorry. Noah. Congratulations.
That is so good.
Okay, why couldn't you draw it back?
I don't know. I felt like I just couldn't. Like I was trying to, and I couldn't. For some reason,
That's
I
a
just wasn't
buck.
strong enough to.
Buck fever.
I don't know.
You might get another shot here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a squeaky rest too.
Yeah, it started.
And
It
so
was
that,
squeaking.
oh,
Yeah,
I know. I should have fixed that.
I think it was maybe.
It was just a felt that I
Yeah.
needed to put on the rest.
Yeah,
But that doe wanted to die that day.
yeah.
Like,
I was looking at our tree stand, seeing me draw and everything, and
yeah. If anybody wants to watch the video, all these hunts that we're talking about, it's on my YouTube channel, Rattling Junkie. So they can all find that there. But anyways, so you were able to draw back.
finally got it. Yeah, got my bow drawn back.
Yeah.
And then after that, it felt.
So
for
do you
me-
remember putting the pin on the deer?
I remember it all feeling a bit after that, in my opinion, a bit rushed, because I'm like, oh, I've wasted time now, not being able to draw it back, and I needed to shoot it now, or it was gonna.
But you took your time
Smooth.
aiming, because I remember saying, you got to shoot. No, you got to shoot. I was like, okay, he's not shooting. But you're taking your time.
Yeah, and then I remember shooting at it, and it was a bit high, and I forget.
Oh, again, my fat mouth gets me in trouble. I'm so sorry, son. But yeah, it's just
Anyways,
I'm
it's still
learning as I go.
yeah, it still was a double lunger in it.
Yeah, because I said, you missed it. You shot above the lungs. Like, again, all these things, like, my heart is going, like, just as much, maybe even more than yours, because, again, no control in this situation. I just gotta see you do your thing. You couldn't draw your bow, and then you could. I've never actually, I've heard of that. People, like, can't draw their bow because they get buck fever, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. It's never happened to me. I've always been able to draw my bow back, like, in the moment of truth. Like, I don't even feel it.
I was now wondering if too, maybe just with all the excitement, I somehow got my arm stuck in my harness, against a tree, and maybe I was
Oh, okay.
able to draw it back. But I don't know.
But like you said too,
Yeah.
like breathing. Like
Yeah,
you,
I took that second or half a second just
You
to
got
let
it.
down. And
I even
take
thought
a
about
deep
trying to
breath and
help
then-
you pull it back, like pull your arm back. Like, okay, we'll get the stud, like, yeah. So that was your first day deer hunting as well.
Mm-hmm.
So first day bear hunting, you shoot a 19-incher. First day, you shoot a doe.
Yeah.
It's high.
Yeah.
So
It
now
yeah.
runs off, and I say, "Oh, you got it above the lungs."
Yeah. And I remember, it ran a bit of a,
Like probably 30 yards, right?
yeah, and a bit of
Or
a-
less.
Yeah. I think less. Yeah. Ran a bit of a semicircle.
Yeah,
from
that's right.
my memory. And then it just fell over. And
Yeah, it just
that
tipped
was-
over.
Yeah. It tipped over right as it was running. So
Didn't make any
No.
movement after that.
just ran,
dumped.
fell over. So that was pretty crazy to see, because I didn't see my bear obviously
Yeah.
fall over. It went still died relatively close, but
Yeah.
so that was pretty crazy to see, and I was pretty happy.
Oh
and
yeah,
excited
I was too.
after that. Just first time seeing an animal fall that I
Yeah.
shot, and
Yeah, exactly.
knowing that it died right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a huge thing to
Yeah.
know that you did that.
Yeah.
Like you did that. Like nobody else. That's the result of your action. And you're saying all the right things, and I think you do mean it. Well, I know you do.
Yeah.
That it died quick, so you can take a lot of I guess like good vibes with that,
Yeah.
right? Knowing that it died quickly and that it wasn't suffering. But yeah, so amazing experience, right? We're able to gut it. Did we do the gutless method there?
I can't remember if
I think maybe we
got
gutted it, whatever. I
Yeah.
forget too. I don't recall if we brought it home or not.
Or maybe
We might
was that
have
when we had I think we
I had the
had
S10.
and had a board, and we dragged it up into the back and brought it
Yeah.
home. Yeah.
Could be.
We dragged it out.
Yeah.
And brought it home.
Wasn't much of a drag to the truck.
Not from my memory, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in that spot. No. So that's pretty cool. Okay.
Well, Noah, what do you have to say?
Just so excited.
Your first deer kill. Now you got to try and get your first buck.
Yeah.
Then we are going to go fast forward to later in the fall in November. Well, we're trying to get you a buck because you had a doe tag and I think a buck tag. Because back then, yeah, it was in the one area we were hunting, it was a doe tag, and then they had the one deer tag, which was a buck tag going on. So we tried to get a buck. Then on that same property, we
Yeah.
were using a decoy. We had like 7 little bucks come through. We were sitting on the ground that day.
Yeah.
You remember that? And there were like fork horns and stuff. Too far away,
Mhm.
but you didn't want to shoot any of them. I remember you were like, they're kind of small. You wanted to shoot something with a rack.
Yeah, I remember that. I wanted to have that where you had the main beams coming around. You could see the ties
Yeah.
coming up. Off
Yeah, it
of
looked
it,
like
so,
looked like a buck,
Mhm.
not just little fork horn. And
Yeah.
then we had that guy on the quad come through trespass
I
on the
remember
property.
that. Yeah, that was.
But that was he came in before all the deer came in.
Yeah,
And then all these deer came out, and he left already. And we had a ton of deer around us. I couldn't believe it. How many bucks were there?
there were quite a few.
Yeah, and if we were up in a tree stand, we might have been able to get a shot there. I don't know.
But we were on the ground, and
But they were on edge too at the decoy. They weren't.
yeah,
'cause
they.
were all
I don't.
yonder.
There were a couple that came around it, but I don't think they.
Yeah,
Yeah, they.
the
Catching
closest
on
one was
something.
like 40 yards, I think.
Yeah,
Nothing.
they circled around it a little bit.
Yeah. And then we fast forward. We go to spot where I killed my first bow deer, like archery deer. We go there in November for the rut. And I don't know if we've hunted that spot multiple times or if it was just the one time. And we're sitting there and a bunch of deer come running by because in this property,
Oh.
there's
Yeah,
hiking trails in
hiking
there.
trails, yeah.
And so people walk their dog. Sometimes the dog chase the deer.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the deer just get chased because people are hiking through there. They
Yeah.
get scared and they run. But that almost helps us. 'Cause
Yeah,
I found that it actually
it gets
pushes them
moving.
around. Yeah,
Yeah.
moves them. We're hunting this inside corner.
Mhm.
And yeah, we basically can hunt it on any wind direction we do, just because there are quite a few deer in this it's a smaller bluff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's probably like a 40-acre bush. And then we have permission for like the 15-acre part of the bush.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so all these deer run by us. I remember there's probably 8 deer.
Yeah, I think around.
And a racked buck.
Yeah, at the very
with no brow
very
tines.
back. Yeah.
And maybe a couple forkhorn bucks.
Yeah, I think there was 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did I tell you? Do you remember what I told you when they ran past?
Well, you were you was that was the time you were texting with Nana?
Yeah.
And then I remember.
But what did I say when they ran past us? Like because of the hikers or bikers there. You don't remember? Well, I'll tell you. They ran past, and knowing from past history, deer really like to go back to where they were spooked out of their bedding area because they know that was safe. They'll want to make their way back. I told you, no, they will come back probably later in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I was texting with Nana. We're up in the tree stand. It was slow. And I guess I didn't expect them to come through so soon. It was probably an hour after they ran through that they started coming back.
Yeah.
So do you take the story from there when you first saw the deer coming through?
Well, you were texting with Nana.
Well, you didn't know that though, right?
No, I didn't know that
because I was on the back side of the tree.
I thought
you couldn't see me.
Yeah, I thought
you thought I knew.
I thought you knew. Yeah, that's why I didn't tell you. And then so they're all coming out, and I seen the
rack buck,
yeah,
like
rack
little
buck.
4x4.
Yeah, not giant, but yeah. In my opinion, it was. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's a big deer. So,
yeah, it was a buck, right? It
Yeah.
was not a 4-corner spike. You were going to shoot this deer.
Yeah. So I was at the back, and there was forget if it was.
And it was coming right through the inside corner.
Yeah, right through. And there were a couple in front of it, and then you had. I guess you noticed what was going on, and you seen the deer coming
too late.
through. Yeah,
so what
too
I
late.
noticed was there was one little like a spiker walk through, and then there was this forkhorn walking through.
Yeah.
And then I went, Matt, trying to stop it. And I was like,
remember
what?
that.
Why isn't Noah shooting? Why isn't he drawn back?
All this time.
But I was on the phone and I look up and there's these 2 bucks right there. I couldn't believe it, right? They're so quiet. They barely made any noise. They were going right back to their bedding area where they were spooked out. And then as I'm doing that, I was like, Noah, shoot that deer. And you're like, oh, but then it takes off, it goes through the shooting lane. And I look to my left and there's that little 4x4 staring at us.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the whole time I had thought you had
there was
seen
no
it,
way
so.
it was coming in.
No,
I
I had
messed
heard
that.
you blowing on it. And
Yeah, I was just, it saw us up in the tree. It just wasn't a good situation there. So
yeah.
I messed up that opportunity for you.
Well,
So
yeah.
yeah, I felt so bad. I couldn't believe it. It's like, of all people, of all the stupid mistakes. For one, I'm texting your Nana, my mom, which isn't a bad thing.
No, no, not at all.
But bad timing.
Yeah.
Like not a good situation to be in. So he takes off, runs off.
Mm-hmm.
No buck, all those deer. And I asked you, how many deer walk through? And you said like 7. And I couldn't believe it. 7 deer? I was like, that's really bad. That was a dad fail. I failed hard.
Yeah, we all make mistakes sometimes.
No, but that was like, okay, well, that would have been quite the year. You shoot a bear your first day, a doe your first day, and then a buck your second day hunting. Like,
yeah,
man,
that would have been crazy.
Yeah, but wasn't meant to be, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then later in the day, you must remember what happened.
Was it the same?
It was the same day.
Same day.
Yep. It was the same day because it was basically your last day that you could hunt because the weather was getting colder. I don't have the best clothing for you. So just to stay warm. It's like, you know what, really the weather's changing. It's going to be too cold. You have one more deer tag to fill, and it's it wasn't any sex tag. Yeah, it wasn't just a buck tag. It was a general tag. Yeah, a doe or a buck. So then this fawn came in.
Yeah, small fawn, and then right on
like 20 yards.
Yeah, we're inside the bush a little bit, and there's the inside corner, and it came right along the edge of the field, and
it caught my movement. It did.
Did it?
I made too much movement, and it was like looking up at us. But I know it's a fawn, so they haven't been around long enough to really know what's going on. So I knew you could probably get a shot.
Yeah.
So you drew back when it was looking at you.
And I remember after those deer that buck, I guess, spooked or whatever, and having the excitement of that, I was wanting to shoot a deer that day really bad after that. So
for sure.
Yeah. And it came, and I remember after that just being like, I'm gonna, wanting to shoot it so bad, and I drew back, settled the pin, and shot it perfectly.
Oh, so absolutely good. Money shot.
Yeah, ran, and we had two stands there, two stands for different winds there.
Yeah, that's right.
And it ran and right into the tree of
the big oak
stand.
tree.
Yeah, it ran right into that tree and just
full
on. Yeah.
It ran and it bounced off 10 feet.
Yeah, hit the tree and then just bounced off. And
I didn't film that.
Died,
and didn't make another move. And it was like, wow.
It was dead right there.
So that was a pretty good season.
Yeah.
Man, we're just trucking along. It's almost been an hour, but we aren't even close to being done all your hunting stories here. Yeah. We don't have to go through them all, but I want to get through a couple.
Yeah.
So we did that. Okay, you did that. Amazing first year of bow hunting, 3 animals.
Yeah.
So now we another fast forward to age 13. You're getting a bit bigger now, able to handle a bit more responsibility, like sitting there longer, Well, you already could, but you're doing that, all that stuff. So now we go into springtime, and we are hunting bears.
Yeah. It was my I remember also being excited. Obviously, I was excited. I've never not been excited.
Yeah, we're practicing. You were using a sever head, broadhead on this one, the little swing blade head, and you were first up. So I was like, okay, you're gonna get a bear. Hopefully, like something you shot. You wanted to shoot a 7-footer, I think, right? You were
I remember you would always talking and being like 7-footer was kind of that mark of 7-footer and up is a big bear.
Yeah. And you got some bragging rights. Hey, how big of a bear did you shoot? I shot a 7-footer.
Yeah. And I remember having that as kind of just a goal that I had, not necessarily that I would have stuck to it if something else came in, but I remember hearing you talk about that. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool to shoot a 7-footer.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. So I remember that going into the hunt. And I'm trying to remember exactly what happened leading up to that.
Well, we don't have to go all into that because it's, a lot of the same.
Yeah.
We hunted one morning and it was super cold, and we saw when we walked in there, it was cold, frosty, calm. We walk in, the leaves are loud. It looked like a big bear on the bait. They always look big, but this one looked legitimately big.
We had seen a pod trail.
And a giant pod trail. Massive. One of the biggest I've ever seen, actually, now that I think of it. And there's a big bear on the bait. It looked big. It ran off. And I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't as big as I thought, because running away, then I was like, well, they can look bigger because as they're bounding away. Whatever, we saw maybe 2 other bears as we sat there, nothing big enough to shoot. And then we needed to bait anyways. And I just thought, we got there the day before or the night before, camped, and then went in, hunted, and we needed to bait. So then we baited. We thought we'd just hunt the morning before we baited. We bait all up. Don't know how many days after that we came back, maybe 5 days after. We're going out for the evening hunt, and Jason was out there hunting as well.
Yeah.
He ended up shooting a giant as well, a Boone and Crockett
Yeah.
brown bear,
Yeah. That was
7'6" squared was his.
7'6". Yeah.
But you were up, so you're up in the shooter stand.
Yeah. And yeah, bears had been coming in that day. Nothing. They were all small bears from
Yeah,
what I
like
remember.
5
Yeah.
footers and
Stuff,
just 5
stuff I
footers.
wasn't gonna shoot. Yeah, so still exciting to see bears at the bait.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, obviously went through our new normal routine of getting up in the stand, doing practice drawing and everything. But
And you're shooting a new bow at this time, a PSE
I got it.
Phenom.
Yeah.
I got rid of that other one because you were just outgrowing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
This one was a big-
And yeah, we saw like 10 bears that evening, and there's a quad trail on the property there.
yeah.
And I could see through the bush, and I said, Noah, I think there's a bear on there, and it might be big. I don't know if it's a shooter, but it could be. It kind of
Mhm.
But you know how bears look. They always look bigger when they're further away in the bush somewhere, right? The shadows and all that
Mhm.
make them look a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But when this thing started walking in, all these bears just took off like as if they're like dependent on it.
Oh yeah, there was like 5 bears at the bait at that time, or
Could
4,
be, and there were
5 or
some in the
4.
bush that we
Yeah.
didn't see.
Yeah,
And
even
there's
around
just
there.
bears running everywhere.
And yeah, they suddenly all took off just hard. Like
Yeah. And I was like, okay, Noah, get ready.
yeah.
Noah, that's a shooter bear for you.
And then this bear's coming in, and you can hear it on video too. I'm like, okay, Noah, this is a shooter bear for you. I
Yeah.
didn't realize necessarily when I said that how big it was. But
Yeah.
it came in and it gave you a shot like immediately. I was like, shoot it.
Shoot him. No, you can't. You missed your opportunity.
And then you drew back.
Yeah. I was still, I guess a bit didn't know exactly, or you could say, yeah. And
When to draw back.
yeah, when to draw back just. And yeah, I guess for me, I didn't feel comfortable maybe even if I did draw back.
You didn't
But,
want to hold the
yeah.
bow back too long. Is
Yeah, I
what
could say
get.
that. I'm,
Like when he's walking in, that's when I would recommend, if it's a big bear, that you can, after you do it a while, you can kind of judge it, right?
yeah.
Our guesses aren't always right, but
Mhm.
when it's coming in, you can draw back, hold it, you can
Yeah.
hold it for a certain amount of time, maybe
And then-
like 20 seconds is all you really need, and if
Mhm.
you did that, you would have been able to get that close, like 12-yard shot right there. Perfect. But it
Yeah.
didn't happen. He circled the bait a few times. Then he gave you a shot.
Draw back. Aim and shoot.
And the shot wasn't like too bad.
No.
He was a bit quartering away.
And he was
then
a bit
twisted.
twisted too. He was
Yeah,
twisted.
he's more
so
twisted.
It looked a bit weird where it hit and how
Yeah,
the angle of it.
exactly.
Yeah, it's not.
And he took off, and we couldn't. I think I tried to track him that night, and I followed it a ways, and I'm just like, no, we're going to
Yeah,
come back in the morning.
Yeah, I remember just going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
deciding-
next morning we found. Did you realize how big that bear was when it came in?
Yeah.
Did-
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you also talking about the barrels to judge them
Yeah.
and all other. And this, like, I remember looking at the barrels and like these barrels could basically like fit inside of
The
this
bear.
bear. Yeah. It looked like, like that
Yeah.
bear could eat everything in the barrel.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. He was a
Yeah.
limo. That's what I said. I was like,
I remember that.
I knew he was 8 foot, not 8 foot. I knew he was 7 foot. I thought actually he could potentially be close to 8.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't necessarily, he's 7'7" the bear was. Boone
Yeah.
and Crockett, right? 21 and 2.
Yeah. 260.
The all-time Boone and Crockett record book.
Mhm.
Official.
Yeah.
Officially scored. You're in the book.
Yeah.
I've never shot a Boone and Crockett bear. 21 incher, that is. So you did it. Congratulations. It's pretty
Thanks.
awesome.
Yeah.
13 years old to do that as well. So yeah, you knew it was a big bear.
Yeah.
So then the next morning, Jason shot a big bear, a
Yeah.
booner as well.
Yeah.
A gross booner. I think 21. I don't know if it actually dried 21. And that was a brown one, 7 foot
7'6".
We found that. We skinned it out, got
Mhm.
it, did all that work, then went on your track job.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the morning after Noah shot a tank of a bear. We just got back from skinning Jay's bear. He made a good shot on it, and yeah, it's a giant 7.5 footer. Don't know if this one's going to be that big, but it looks to be like a pretty decent bear. So we're going to try and pick up some blood, and if we can't pick up blood initially, then I'm going to go to the last spot I saw the bear. And I heard a bit of a crack there, but who knows? Who knows if he fell or if that was just him slowing down and stepping on a branch and cracking it. A lot of big bear sign in here though. Did have a little peek, and hopefully we'll get it. Fingers crossed. And if we do find it, well, that's where we'll see you.
What do you remember about that?
I remember that one being a bit longer, and yeah, sometimes I thought that maybe we wouldn't get it, but
Yeah, it was looking pretty hopeless.
yeah,
It
at
was
times there
because it was like, okay, don't know how long it went. It was maybe about close to 500 yards. We came to the spot in the bush. Like we did a really good job tracking.
yeah, our tracking
Like Jason was doing kind of the mid stuff, and then he would get you to stand where the last blood
I
was.
put my bow cam right where
Yeah.
the blood was, and I just look in the
Yeah. And then you did
4 to 3
all
foot-
the,
yeah,
exactly.
all that short stuff, and then
Then he
you
went
were
out.
doing some bigger circles, and
I was doing the bigger circles.
Yeah.
I'd find some blood that sometimes.
and then we go up to where
and then
you
we
were.
just quickly
yeah,
go up.
so we did a really good tracking job that way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think the bear might have even doubled back.
I think it did a couple
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
And then we came up to this water hole,
Yeah.
and there was blood in the water. I believe that's what we found. Okay. But then there's a ravine in the area, and we just couldn't find any more blood after that. And I just decided, okay, I'm going to get onto the highest ground that I can. And it's really thick in there though, too. And I'm just going to look down.
Yeah.
And, well, it didn't take me long, and I found your bear
Yeah. I remember that. You,
down in the bottom yelling.
Yeah.
To
So
come get-
you were a little ways away and yelled, yeah, I found your bear. And it was down in, I guess, the bottom of the ravine. There was a little bit of a creek or whatever.
Yeah. Because it was shot far back. And
Yeah.
we went there.
Mm-hmm.
And we got him.
Yeah.
You got him.
We found my bear. Didn't take too long to stumble across the blood trail, but it didn't look too confident when we were following the blood trail. Some spots where the blood really slowed down, and then during the end of the tracking job, we didn't see any more blood. So my dad came and was looking around for the bear and maybe if he found more blood, but more of the bear, and then he stumbled across this. So,
How big is he?
like, I don't, probably 7.5 feet square.
Potential Boone and Crockett.
He's a booner.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go. Right on.
I'd be very surprised if he wasn't.
This is where we found him. In this big hollow.
Yeah, always a good idea to go to water,
Yeah.
and that's exactly where he was, especially with a shot that's further back. You know. Now we
Absolutely.
got a bit of a job for me. I have wet boots from my bear and one pair of dry, non-waterproof boots. And there's down the creek. So looks like Noah's gonna learn how to skin.
Yeah.
So he's got boots.
Yeah.
A big bear. Couldn't believe it. Jason, when he came down to look at that bear, he's
I
like,
remember his reaction. Yeah.
yeah. He's like, why didn't you guys say how big it was? He's like, well, Jay, I did. I said it was a limo. And Jason was excited about his bear. I said, you were just talking about your bear the whole time. So I was like, okay, well, your bear must be bigger. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't, you know, he's like, when he saw it, he's like, that's the biggest bear I've ever seen.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It was pretty good. And we had to skin it out right there, quarter it,
yeah,
and just walk it out.
Yeah, we were tracking. So
It was really deep in the bush. There's no way we could get a
I don't
quad in
think.
there.
What did we have?
We didn't
I don't
have any
think-
game bags.
Yeah, we didn't even have any game bags. So I remember we found places on like
Logs and stuff
logs and
to keep it as
sticks to put it
clean
on.
as
Yeah,
possible.
help keep it clean and keep it obviously from getting wet because there's bacteria in the water.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it was quite a ways to get it all out.
Yeah.
It took a while. I remember you
Yeah.
carrying the hide, and
Oh, that
I
was.
was seeing you pretty tired.
Hey, no, I wasn't breathing hard. Yeah, I was tired.
Yeah, it was pretty far. And then-
2 big bears in one morning.
Yeah.
Skinning them out,
Yeah,
carrying them out. Both had a bit longer track jobs than we intended as well.
yeah,
So, anyways, yeah, so that was exciting. And then it was that same year you got your first racked buck,
yeah,
your first buck,
yeah.
4x4.
Yeah,
Hey, my name's Noah, as you guys probably know, and still after my first buck, so this will be my 4th sit of the season, so I'm just hoping we get one.
That was a pretty exciting hunt, eh?
yeah, yeah.
Like we were hunting that same, the same property you shot that fawn off of.
Yeah, same property, but we're hunting a different part of it.
Yeah.
That we decided to got permission to access it from
The north there.
the north side where hiking trails are going into it, just
Yeah.
instead of having to cross the field or
Yeah. So we could get in there,
Yeah.
better access, so the deer can't necessarily see us
or
and
think
all
we're
this.
just
And we
hikers.
thought they were using the north side of the property
yeah
as well to get to an alfalfa field that was there, a little small alfalfa field. And we set up that first day,
yeah
and we had a deer come, like a doe and a fawn, come right up to our tree there and sniff it and all that, whatever. And then at last light, we had a buck come through, and you didn't really have a shot.
no
You didn't feel I think it was still legal light.
I couldn't even really see it. Like I was looking to see if it was a doe or a buck, and
Yeah.
I remember turning to you and being like, "It's a buck." I was so excited. I wasn't even thinking. Like I didn't.
It walked
even-
like a buck, just
Yeah.
going right through. Yeah. And then it made its way off. We sat up there for a few minutes because
Mhm.
we didn't want to spook it, and it went on its way. We left the tree stands there,
Mhm.
and then we're debating whether to move them closer to where that buck traveled.
Yeah.
And then we just decided to leave the stand
Yeah. We left them there
right on the edge of the
right on the edge
hiking
of the hiking trail. Yeah. And we came back the previous day.
the next day,
Next day, yeah.
not the previous.
Or, sorry.
You're
Yeah.
tired. Your
Yeah.
eyes are all squinty. Me
Yeah.
too.
Uh,
We're doing this late at night. It's later.
yeah.
We both want to go to bed, but we got so many good hunting stories left.
Yeah. So the next day, and got in our tree stand. We were hoping something was going to come down the hiking trail there, or
Yeah, because there was the backstory. The year before, the previous year, when you shot that fawn on that same property,
yeah,
I did a quick scout of the area, and I noticed a rub line going into this area where there's no hiking trails. So I'm like, okay, this is where would deer most likely bed. They're going to bed as far as away from people as they can for the most part.
yeah,
Where's a buck going to bed? That's where he's going to bed. And there's a rub line going directly into there. So that's why we were hunting that side of the property there. Because I'm like, there's got to be a buck coming in. We had a couple bucks on trail cam that were no longer coming in on trail cam. And they just relocated. Small property, but they still did relocate from the south side of the property to the north.
yeah,
Luckily for us, and we made that decision. So we decided to stay in the tree from the previous night, and hoping a deer or a buck would come down on the ski trail,
yeah,
because they do.
yeah, I'm trying to remember. That day, we didn't see the buck that I shot was the only deer that.
No, we saw a couple deer, but early in the, like not early in the evening, but not late.
Yeah.
That buck came in and he did that. He came out where basically that rub line was.
Mm-hmm.
He went onto the ski trail. He took his time. He raked some bushes and all that. He was hard horned. It was in September. I forget the date, but it was early September.
Yeah, he was.
And he started marching down that trail. And I couldn't tell you when to draw back.
Yeah.
Because how I was positioned in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't whisper to you or all that.
Yeah.
But you already knew when to draw back because we went over it.
Yeah.
Like when a deer walks past a big tree or a whatever tree, anything that protects or not protects, but obscures their vision.
Yeah.
You know what we forgot to talk about?
What?
That buck that you had an opportunity at with the decoy the year before.
Uh-huh.
Remember that? Okay, we're going on a side tangent here, but we set up that decoy. Remember on the same this property, and we had a buck come through to the decoy.
Oh yeah,
I got you to draw too early, and you had on.
I had a neck gator, and I remember drawing, and I had always had my anchor point for my bow like right, I guess
at the base of your ear.
Yeah, behind your ear or at the base of your ear, and if you feel there's like that divot or whatever, in there. So I guess hadn't been used to shooting with having something.
And you didn't
there.
Practice draw.
Oh yeah, that was
you didn't practice draw, and I was going to tell you to practice draw, and I saw that gator, and I was like, that could be an issue. But it was cold. I was like,
it was cold that day.
I didn't want you to be cold. It was during the rut. We had this decoy out there.
Yeah.
And I just see a flash to our right, and we're on the ground.
Yeah, we were on the ground.
But by like this big bush that...
It was there was a big... this giant bush behind us.
I don't know what the bush is called, but it's like you can basically make a ground blind in it. That's what we did.
Yeah,
some
it's like taller than
there.
us standing up.
It's a big thing. You can hide behind it real easily.
Anyways, we use that for back cover, and then put some sticks in front there.
And then this thing came in, and he was a nice 4x4, probably 100-incher. I got you to draw back. I should have waited till he got to the decoy.
Decoy. You see some decoy? Now get your bow. Okay, I'm getting ready. Only once it goes in. Draw back. Anchor, you gotta shoot. Oh, man.
But you drew back, and then you made that head movement.
And I kept trying to get it behind my ear there, and there was that gator kind of blocking it.
And you're making a bit of movement, and he saw that.
Saw that, and right away he spooked.
Yeah.
So,
if you didn't have that gator on, even when you drew back, like when you did, you would have got him.
Yeah.
You would have had a shot for sure.
I drew back and I put it there, and
it was all
he hadn't
good.
spooked, and then I'm like, it's not.
Then you moved your head.
Yeah,
you can see it in video. Like you really moved your head, and you didn't like that. You took off.
So
there's the disappointment, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess we did hunt that property a couple times before you shot that fawn. But anyways, I digress. We can get back to your buck story. But so there's a few disappointments, right? There's the disappointment of that little 4x4 that I spooked, when I was texting when I should have been hunting. There's the disappointment of that buck coming into a decoy.
Yeah.
Like a nice one for your first one. So now we're going into your second year of bow hunting. You shoot that Booner bear. Now you're going for your first buck. Your goal was a racked buck.
Yeah.
And you stuck to it.
Yeah, I did.
You're sticking to that goal. And then that racked buck, 4x4, comes out. He starts working his way along the trail. And now you are getting a shot. It's happening.
Yeah, I had picked out the tree for when it came where I would draw back.
Yeah.
And deer in this way are a lot easier in bears to when
kind of time
when you draw back, because you can pick a tree on the trail they're going down, and then be like, once its head goes behind, then draw back. And so I did that, and it was raking its antlers in some branches on the way there, which my heart was pounding so hard, and that just made it pound harder.
Yeah, oh
The
yeah.
moment being stretched out.
Yeah, it was doing what deer do, right?
Yeah.
Just it had no idea we were there.
No,
Just
didn't.
taking his time.
Slowly.
Making his way to
Yeah.
the alfalfa field. It was
Mhm.
all good. He was going to get there,
Yeah.
when he gets there.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to that tree and its head went behind, and I drew back right
Yeah.
as its head went, so it couldn't see me. And
Yeah.
didn't realize I drew back, and I wasn't wanting to. I remember not wanting to stop it to shoot. I remember
Yeah.
hoping to kind of wait till like the last opportunity where I could still have a good shot, and easy
Yeah.
shot.
You didn't want to do that. Man.
Yeah, because if I do that, I have to shoot. And
Yeah,
if-
it's on edge then.
yeah,
at that
right
point.
away. And if it stops naturally, then it's not like it's
Yeah, it's
put
not,
on edge, and it
Yeah.
could stay there for how
Yeah, it's not alert and
however
might
much
drop.
time I need.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it ended up stopping, and we were really close to the hiking trail or ski trail.
Yeah, was it like a
It-
10-yard shot,
yeah,
12-yard
and
shot?
I guess I remember. I guess I wasn't real. Yeah, so I remember it came and I drew back.
What do you think? I think it was good. A bit high, but it was right up. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. How did the shot look? It was a bit high, but you're in a tree stand. Yeah, so I think it was was it a pass through? Well, the arrow disappeared into him. It did. Yeah. Oh, he's.
Settled the pin and where I would normally aim, and then
It hit a bit high. Is what
yeah,
you're
it
saying.
hit a bit high.
That's
Yeah,
what
we were
you're-
closer, and then first you maybe said that it only got one lung, but I remember it complete
yeah.
pass through, and I was like, "There's no way that it's not dying." Like,
Yeah.
seen the blood coming out, and it
It was complete pass through.
Complete
Tucked
pass
its tail
through.
and
Yeah.
ran hard.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and there's a pretty good blood trail.
Yeah, it
So-
wasn't hard to find.
No, it wasn't hard to find. So yeah, we got down when found my arrow, and that was exciting.
Yeah,
Started following the blood trail, and then I guess you spotted it first, like I guess my other animals so far, and then you pretended you were gonna do some B-roll or some filming on your camera, and you wanted
Yeah.
me to walk past the tree,
yeah.
and
I said, yeah, look in this direction. Come
Yeah.
walk past this way. Look in this direction. And I knew, yeah, obviously I set you up to see the deer.
yeah, so
You thought I saw it.
Yeah, I did.
No, just track here. I need to get some. We're probably going to come in the morning. Here, I just kind of want some of this. Oh, there's blood here. Okay, I'll get you. Okay, come on this side, and okay, and I'm just going to get you looking kind of like that way.
Okay.
Careful, careful. Woo! There you go, Noah. Whoa. Congratulations, buddy. Wow. What a cool buck. Good for you.
Wow.
You got him. Sometimes they go a bit further than you expect, eh?
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
So I guess don't really know how to say it, but
I seen that, and I pretty excited when I seen that. I ran right up to it, and its antlers had some grass on or whatever, and I brushed it all off and then lifted up its head, and
Couldn't believe it, eh?
No, it was like my goal that I'd wanted to get, like that rack buck, and then I got in. It was
You did it.
in my mind that was giant, like this
Yeah.
huge. You see,
And just so people know,
Yeah.
it was like an 80-90 inch buck, but
But,
4x4, pretty cool.
So yeah, that was pretty exciting for me too.
Yeah.
that
Now,
happened.
there's a lot bigger out there.
Yeah, but
Like you said, when we've talked about it, because obviously you're 15,
Mhm.
You aren't making big bucks yet. You're going to be shooting bucks like that every year if you can, until you're able to be more independent doing it on your own, and then you can make your own decisions. Some people never stop shooting those bucks and they're happy with it. So it doesn't really matter if you want to keep shooting those. But knowing you, the one thing I'll say is that, like, I was pretty surprised and impressed that you were very like set on your goal of shooting a racked buck. And I actually tried to convince you to shoot like spikers or forkhorns.
I remember that.
Because I'm a big proponent of people getting experience, you know, like like new bow hunters, they need to shoot, man. They need to get that experience, get some good kills under their belt, you know, move forward. And then once you rack up a few kills, like when I say a few, I'm talking like probably 10.
Yeah. So
then you can start going for some big deer.
Yeah.
Because big deer, it's tough.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have the best land to go on, you know, it can be really challenging. But yeah, so you brush the antlers off. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was like, that goal of shooting this deer that looked like a big buck.
Well, it's good, man.
It's a
2.5-year-old deer.
So we got there, and then we dragged it out to the edge of the field, 'cause it's that same property I shot the fawn on, and then dragged it out there.
Grandpa came out.
Yeah, we called Grandpa.
Is this the one you saw yesterday?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, a good shot.
A bit high, but
Double long.
yeah, double long.
Well, that's a good shot.
Yeah.
Well.
We'll have a look.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
The thing with that deer is there was blood everywhere, like blood coming out of its nose and its mouth, like a perfect double lung shot. At the end of the day, it
blood
was
everywhere, and
yeah. I remember it was a bit of a chore to clean it up for the pictures.
Yeah.
But we did. We got some really nice pictures out there. So
yeah,
that was good. Yeah, now you've gone on. Man, we got more stories, but maybe we should leave it there because I'm tired. You're tired. Maybe you want to come back for another
episode 2.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Well, I might have to pay you next time, eh?
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Just to leave it off, I guess, because what other stories do we have to tell? Because I know there are a couple stories. Well, we'll lightly touch on. Well, you do have some more stories, and I want to go through those, but it's already been an hour and 20 minutes. We've been talking roughly. Yeah. So I think we should probably do a 2-part series on this one.
Yeah.
So you have your bear from last spring.
Yeah.
Because you didn't shoot a bear this spring.
No.
You only had one day to hunt.
Yeah, and with going to school and everything, and I'd been homeschooled previously, and now going to high school.
Man, you had a lot of time to hunt. I could take you out whenever.
Yeah, and then...
So now being in public school, having a better, well, not a better, but more strict schedule.
Structure, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have that much time, so... You're kind of transitioning over to fall bear hunting now too.
Yeah.
That's what you'll be doing mostly, I think, for the next 3 years. Maybe a little bit of spring, like when you can on the weekends.
One weekend,
But yeah, so you have your last year, 2021 spring bear. You went through, a little bit of a battle there. Came out on top.
Yeah.
We won't get into that right now, but just letting everyone know what we're going to be going over with you. Then you shot a bull elk last year.
Yeah.
A spike bull.
Yeah. Worked really
8
hard
days of hunting.
Getting up early every morning.
Getting up early.
So it's like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, having that crazy
morning.
Camper confront us.
Yeah, that was
almost try to run me over. The cops came.
That was scary when that happened.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to. I was like, what am I going to do? I was like,
with your dad dead.
Like, gonna have to get in the truck and go get help. But yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. But we had a good buddy there, Luke Fair, helping the situation as well to calm everything down. But anyways, that's for the next time you're on. And then you ended up killing 2 deer on your own without me being there.
Yeah, I got a buck, just one of his antlers, I guess, was broken off in velvet.
4-corn, yeah.
Yeah.
4-corn buck, 1 antlered 4-corn.
Yeah.
And then you ended up shooting a doe as well.
Yeah.
But so that is a perfect segue into what I wanted to ask you, and people might be interested is, so where do you go from here? Do you have any hunting goals for this fall? Because right now you're not hunting moose or elk this year. You're hunting fall bears and you're hunting deer.
Yeah. And I guess my goals is just to, for me this year, it's just try to make as little mistakes as I can. Just try to get a clean kill and do that. Yeah, I would say that's what I would say.
So you aren't after necessarily a buck or a doe or what? Are you holding out for a buck?
I would like not a spike buck or a 4-corn. I would like
you want to go for a rack.
Yeah, a rack buck.
Yeah.
That's another goal that I would say I would have.
Yeah. And you'll have opportunity on the weekends there.
Yeah.
Hunt it early season maybe and then wait for the rut and get out there. And that property's due for a good buck too. I think.
Yeah.
Like I ended up shooting 140 inch there 12 years ago now or 11. So yeah, I guess 12 actually, but they are there. Guys have seen like 180 inchers in that field.
Yeah.
And that inside corner. People who know deer too. So there are big deer. The thing is, they come through that place. Like I've seen like massive rubs in there, then nothing. Like it is really like, that's where those cameras, those cell cameras.
So they're
that's where they're valuable is on these properties where you don't really have a lot of big bucks living there. They only come in there to breed a doe.
Yeah,
in the rut,
for does, and if
looking for does,
nothing's there, then they move on. It's not a long period of time.
Yeah,
they're there.
I had another property like that out east. It's very few deer on it. No one hunts it. I'm the only guy that hunts it. No one's hunted it for years except me. But then this last year I scouted it and there was like big buck sign everywhere and a ton of deer sign, but the deer sign was all the same age. They were in there like for 3 days, heavy. There must have been a doe that was in heat and a few bucks in there. You know, I caught the tail end and I was trying to shoot a doe and I already shot my buck. But anyways, so that's something we can learn from there. Not saying we'll get a cell cam for it. Yeah. So for bears, what are you thinking about for bears?
Something I was kind of going again for maybe around that 7-foot mark. Obviously, if
fall time's can be a bit harder.
Yeah. So like I was gonna say, for sure I was kind of that would for sure be nice, but if not, like something maybe around 6'9", 6'10", 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what about method? Because you've shot 2 deer on your own without me, and you skinned them, quartered them, all those things. What about sitting on your own? Like, I'm not saying you have to, but have you thought about that at all?
I have a little bit, I guess. Yeah, it'll just depend. I haven't thought about that too much yet.
I know it's nice to get a video, but it's also like, it's not always about the video though. It's about you progressing as a bow hunter as well. And I think we've been pretty intentional with how you progressed and kind of the stages of your development. It's like, okay, we're starting out when you were young. Okay, we're going to keep this easy, low key, and then progressively, like, okay, no, you got to sit longer, quieter, right? Yeah. Pushing you, you know. You shoot your first animals, then now shooting those deer on your own. You'd never got you to skin anything before.
No, that was my first time. Well, but I did a little bit. I seen you, and I would. Yeah. You would kind of teach me what to do.
So with the saying that, like, the video and all that is not the most important thing. It's like your development as a bow hunter. I think it's really important. Because you did we will have to get into that because that's a pretty cool story of getting into that, like change or moving the stands and all that. But,
Yeah.
So yeah, that is almost an hour and a half. I think that's long enough. I need to go to sleep. So do you.
Yeah.
I guess thanks for coming on the first podcast, being my first podcast guest. And yeah, thanks a lot, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Might have been a little bit clunky at the beginning there. We're both learning, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically what I want Huntlore to be, is like telling stories, telling hunting stories, and what is going through somebody's mind as they're going through that moment of truth, you know, when that animal's coming through, or like why they made the decisions they did. It was kind of cool to hear your perspective, Noah. I know I've heard about a lot of it already. There were a couple things that were new to me, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Learned a few things there. You thought I was strong at one point. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope everyone liked it, and I guess we'll see you guys later.